webinar is to describe the Aquamap major functionalities. This is our first webinar. We are planning new webinars to go more in deep about specific functions like anchor alarm, usage survey, the IIS, and those will be played on this and other Facebook group. We apologize in advance for the English. We are Italian. This video is pre-recorded for timing optimization, but we are here present in real time to answer your question at the end of the representation. Let's see the major index of this webinar. First of all, we will talk about Aquamap charts and what about their source contained there. Then we will talk about the basic and major functionalities. We will speak about the Aquamap master. Let's enter into the details starting from the Aquamap charts. Our nautical charts are covering the most important commercial areas worldwide: North America, Bahamas, Caribbean, Brazil, Argentina, West Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. We do not cover only marine areas. In US and Canada, we have over 12,000 lakes with bathymetric information. And to complete the product, we integrate also a full topography, including road network, waterways, in order to have a reference and details of the area you are navigating. We use most detailed nautical charts from the official local hydrographic offices. Both vector and raster were necessary. For example, in US we use NOAA, in Canada we use the Canadian Hydrographic Service, and in Bahamas, where we do not have an hydrographic office available, we use the best available data, that is Explorer chart. We do update all charts once a year, except for NOAA, that is 4 times a year. Nautical charts sometimes alone are not enough, so we integrate on the map the best communities like ActiveCaptain and detailed guides like the Waterway guides. Last but not least, we decided a few months ago to create a new service to overlay the US Army Corps of Engineers surveys to cover the most dangerous waterways. Over 40,000 surveys from the Corps of Engineers are integrated together and provided to the end user with a weekly update. As soon as you open the app, the Planisphère map will be on your screen. Pinch or double tap to zoom in, swipe to pan, like using any digital map today with a smartphone. To get more detail and most important to use the charts offline, you have to download them on your device. Press the lower left button. You will enter a grid. The transparent tiles are those you can download. The gray tiles are those not existing. Transparent tile with a padlock are those you are not enabled to download. If you tap on one of them, a pop-up with a list of charts to purchase will open. If you tap on a transparent tile, it will turn blue, then you can press Start to start the downloading. Once the download is completed, you can zoom in the area to see the details. Tap on an object. You will be able to get more detail and the list of the information available. To conclude on the charts, we can see the setting page on the lower right. You can choose between the two styles. The current one is standard. You can see a colorful style that is more with bright color. You can decide to show or hide the land data. You can overlay the satellite images on the data. Through this slider, you will be able to fade more or less the satellite. This is just a brief description of the Aquamap charts. If you have any question, please write them in the comment and we will answer at the end of this video. I leave Claudio to enter functionality details.
I will use an iPad for the demo, but you have the same behavior on iPhone or any other Android device. Okay, let's start from the button that you get when you enter on the app. From the bottom right, you have the setting page where you have substantially all the setting, all the function available inside the app. Then on the bottom left, you have the button to download the offline charts. You already seen this with Giorgio. Then on the top left, you have the GPS center button. This, as you can see, will immediately center the application on the GPS. Below, you have the start track recording. On the top right, you have the button to search and manipulate all your information. And then here you have the button to quickly zoom in and zoom out from the map. In the middle, you have the distance tool button that you can use to measure distances on the map. You can also use the two-finger gesture to instantly measure distances. Okay, now let's see how you can enter your data inside the app. To enter a marker, you can simply keep pressing the finger and then a marker is inserted. You can then see the info for the marker. You can change the name, the description, the color, whatever you want. You also have the coordinates, and then you can insert a photo for the marker. In the settings, this is a first example of the settings, you can decide if you want to show or not the name of the marker on the map, and then you can also change the size of the marker on the map. Okay, now let's see how you can plan a route inside your map. Let's switch off for the moment the tide and current, we see later. To start to plan a route, you simply press on the map and you select Edit the Route button. Then, tapping, you add waypoint. You can change the waypoint position. You can enter a new waypoint where you want, and you can delete a waypoint. When you have done, stop editing and save the changes, and the route is done. We can see the route information always in the same way. Here you have the detailed information for the route with partial and total information. You also have the time and the fuel consumption. This comes from the MyBot settings, where you can define the average speed and the average fuel consumption of your bot. When you have a route, you can activate it, so you can navigate it. You can activate as you plan it or in reverse way. When you do, then a box appears on the screen giving the information for your next waypoint with distance, heading, and estimated time of arrival. Okay, now the third type of data you can store in your app is the track. So as soon as you have a GPS information, you can start recording the track with this button. The track records all the movement of your GPS. Here below you have a box giving information for the track with distance, average speed, total time. When you want, you can pause the track and the recording stop, or you can simply save the track when you have done, and the track is saved and the information is inside your page here with all your user data. Okay, when you have data, you can share them. So you can select one element and share. This is the button for the sharing. Okay, when you share it, you can select the format, GPX or KMZ, and then you can select where and how to share. Depending on the system, how it's configured, you have many different options. Main one is normally the mail, or directly inside another app, or using our Jack account. We'll see later the Jack account. Obviously, other than share the data, you can import. So take an example. Let's use the file application. Okay, here is, for example, track that we shared. I can decide to share directly inside our app, and our app import it. Okay, and here it is. Okay. Now, let's move on a different topic. Let's talk about community data. In our app, you can overlay, you can download and overlay a different type of community data. In particular, you can have ActiveCaptain and Waterway guide data. Let's see how it works. Okay, in the settings of this data, you can decide to download the information. Here is already downloaded for speed of the demo. And then you have some options. The first one is to decide how to automatically update the information. You can decide to never do it. You can decide to do only if you have a Wi-Fi, or you can decide to do always. This is a daily update. It is done automatically if the app is running. Then you have some setting. You can decide what to display and what not to display on the map of this information, the size of the icon, if you want names or things like this. Oh, let's see what we have now on the map. Here we have the Waterway guide information overlaid on the map. You can tap on one of it and have detailed information, exactly the same that you have on the site. You also have the reviews. You can also enter reviews. And the same obviously apply to ActiveCaptain information. I already downloaded it, and here now we also have ActiveCaptain information. And as for Waterway guide, you can decide what to show, the size of the icon and things like this. Okay, now let's see how you can search items inside our application. This search button opens the search page. You have two main tabs. The first one is for your user data. You can see them divided by marker, tracks, route, or see all together. Inside this page, you have all your data. For each of one, you can see the detailed information. You can decide to hide or to show one of them, or you can edit all together. So you can select a set of them, and then you can decide to share, to hide, or to show this set, or to delete. This is a quick way to do a bunch of action altogether. You can also order them by name, by distance, or by manipulation date, so the last time you make a change. Keep in mind that the distance is the distance from the center of the screen, so this list depends on where you open this page. The other tab is for searching whatever you want inside our application. So you can search, for example, Miami. And this is all the type of information you can find. So you can find ActiveCaptain elements, you can find Waterway guide, you can find position element, location element, and many other type. You can decide how to filter them. Here's how to filter. You can also decide to have tide and current if tide and current are enabled. You can decide which of these is important for you. In this way, I have only Waterway guide information. When I have just one selected, I can have the full list of element inside, always ordered by distance or by name. When you have by name, you have a quick index here on the side to quickly jump to one of these. And when you find what you need, you can simply tap, and you will be brought exactly where it is on the map. Okay, let's see one important function inside our application, that is the anchor alarm. Anchor alarm as is a dedicated setting page, where obviously you can enable it. Then you can define where you are, and you can define using the GPS position of your device, or in case you are not exactly on the anchor position, you can define a distance and a bearing. In any case, after you set the anchor, you have other settings. You can decide the alarm radius, so the radius where your boat can move without triggering an alarm, a warning area, that is to highlight when you are near the border, a delay, if you want a track related to the anchor, and then the type of alarm we manage. We manage a distance alarm when your boat goes too far from the anchor position, a low battery, and a bad GPS. These two are to advise you that the system is no more able to do a correct alarm. And then we have some advanced setting. Okay, after we set the anchor, what's happened? And then you have this information. Let's quickly simulate the movement of the boat. You see that until the boat is inside the area, the circle is green, informing you easily that everything is okay. On the top you have okay to inform you that it's going fine. Then you have the distance for when you put the anchor and your current drifting speed. When the boat reach the border of the warning area, this yellow one, the circle will change and will become yellow. So you know that something starts to become a little bit dangerous. And when then the boat goes outside the external one, then it starts to calculate the time for the alarm. Obviously it works also if the application is not in foreground, so even if the application is in background, the alarm will trigger and will advise you that there is a problem with the anchor position. This depends on the delay you gave to the alarm before to start. And as you can see, there is the alarm that informs you that your boat is outside the radius. You can switch off it. And you can also receive a notification if you are far from the boat that the alarm is triggered using the advanced setting. Okay, now let's see a different type of information we can overlay on our application, tide and current. These are available in US and Canada. Here are the information. We have current and tide. For each of these, you can tap on the element and get a detailed page. You can select the day you want to see, you can select if you want your time or the station time, or you can see a textual description of the tide. You have also information directly on the map. You see we have a number and a graph that show the status of the tide and the status of the current. For the current, you see we have a faded current. That means this current is below the water. You can also simulate the behavior or current and tide along the day. So with this button, you have a new view and you can simulate what's happened along the day for tide and current with these changes. Okay? You see that the graph for the tide change if it is increasing or decreasing, and the same change the representation of the current. With this small giant arrow means if it is increasing or decreasing the intensity of the current. You can change the date, you can select any date in the future, whatever you want, okay? Standard. Now I'll describe you some additional functionality you can enable using the Aquamap Master subscription. These are particularly advanced functionality. Then when you activate this subscription become available. The first one that I want to describe is the possibility to connect NMEA devices. This is very easy. We already have some connection enabled, but you can create a new one simply selecting the type of device you want to connect, or enter manually all the needed information, depending if you're using a TCP or a UDP connection. We also support Signal K interface. Okay, in our case, we have already simulating a connection with GPS, depth, wind, and IIS. So here you can see the wind information and the depth information coming from the external devices. And you can also see on the screen some IIS target. Let's see more in detail which information you can get with IIS. You can first of all decide what to display on the map, and you can also decide if you want to enable the collision avoidance systems that will calculate the CPA and the TCPA for each target, highlighting the one that could be dangerous for you, and that could be also an alarm sound with just a beep or a voice. Here you can also have the list of targets that you have currently around you and are received by your system. For each one you can have a set of information like the type, the length, well, that depends obviously if they are sending this type of information. Anyway, the speed, the course, and the current CPA and TCPA. We can also see the target on the screen. You see the target, and when you enable IIS, they have also a hidden line, like also your bot has, and each single tick is 1 minute of time. The target, we are trying not to make your view too crowded and become faded as far as from you. In any case, if you want to follow one of these in particular way, you can highlight, and this will become much more visible with the name below. And you can also define some of these as friends, like this one already done in the past. And when this is, you have friends, you have in the IIS a particular list of friends that show you what are around you. These are stored in the system, the information, and whatever friends come around you in the future, it will become immediately highlighted with this green color. Okay, now let's see another functionality you have when you enable the Aquamap master, and this one is the USACE US Corps of Engineer information surveys. This is the type of map you will get, and you can also here have some settings deciding what you want to display, if you want to display everything, only certain things. And what you get is, for example, something similar to this one here. This type of information, this is a very colorful and clear way to show where you can go with your boat. Whatever is yellow or red is dangerous one, and what is green or blue is the part that you could go through. And you can also get information on the survey itself. Here you have the date of the survey. You can see this one is quite recent. Another function you have with the Aquamap master is what we call Route Explorer. The Route Explorer is giving you particular information for your route. You see here, we give you information about the danger, the bridges, and the marina, also with the full information you found along a route. Here is divided by leg. Each single leg of the route, you have the detailed information on what you can find. And for each one of these, you can get additional info. You can also jump on one of these, the one you want. I don't know, you can jump on one of these, and then get information also for this one. When you navigate a route, let's simulate it. Let's start. Okay. Okay. You see that on the top, in addition to the standard box we have when you activate a route with the next waypoint, we also have the next danger, the next marina, and the next bridge you will find along your route. And for each one, you can tap and directly see the detail, or go there and see what is there. So the detail is for the marina that we just opened.
Do not forget Android. We have the Android application that is almost the same of the iOS. Obviously, we developed first iOS and then port the code to Android. So Android is a little bit in delay, but we do all our best to make them aligned. Another important point is the Jack account. You know that you can share all your purchases you have done with Aquamap with 5 devices, no matter Android or iOS. So you buy today the US chart and you can share with other 4 devices. The Jack account is also used for archive. So if you store markers, routes, tracks, and you want to save space, you just transfer them into the Jack account for a later use. Whenever you want, you can recover them. Remember that you can try all our apps and charts before you buy them. You have a free application that let you use 1 tile per time, record 3 tracks, 3 routes, and 3 markers in the United States. Outside of the United States, you can have 14 days free to try all the functionalities. Last, support. Any problem, any question, any comment, remember to contact our support at support@globalaquamaps.com and visit our website at www.globalaquamaps.com for any details, help about all our product and functionalities.